Good evening and welcome to tonight's Village of Alsip Committee meeting. Today is September 25th, 2023. We'll call this meeting order at 7:33 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy is absent. Trustee Navas Barza?
Here.
Trustee Peretta is absent. Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with our officer reports. First, before I get to my agenda report, I just want to report that tomorrow, Tuesday, we have a meeting. I have a meeting with the SWA. It's the Southland Water Agency, and they're going to have an update meeting in Homewood. And once I have more details from them, certainly I'll share that with you folks on next meeting and so forth. Last week, at the end of the week, I attended the Illinois Municipal League Conference on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. And a great conference. This was always, I enjoy going to programs like that, certainly for the betterment of the community and my office as well, too, to best understand. But I went to a handful of, you got these municipal tune-up classes. I was actually sitting in that class with all of our attorneys regarding the Illinois Liquor Commission, and more classes on budgeting, professional administrating, and so forth. There was quite a bit there, so I'll certainly be working to share a lot of that with the department heads as each one comes up. The village office supervisor brought to my attention this morning that while we designated in our schedule for this year at Christmas time, part of the ordinance that we have here is that we are closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Christmas Day this year falls on a Monday, so the toss-up would be honoring Christmas Eve either the Friday before or the Tuesday after, because it is something that's also included in all of the collective bargaining agreements. So any input, folks, as to which day you feel will be better? And probably what would lead the conversation is that we did allow for our meeting that month on Wednesday, so we actually allowed for the Tuesday off, but we never acknowledged it as a board for village, for the employees. We acknowledged it for our schedule, but we never discussed the employees. So that would be, the question is to be off on Tuesday, honoring Christmas Eve. Because, like I said, we allowed it in our schedule, but we didn't address the employees. Any thoughts on that? No?
Monday, Tuesday, I thought would be good.
That's what we're going to do. We'll do Monday, Tuesday. So Tuesday serving as obviously honoring the collective bargaining agreements and ordinance to be closed on Tuesday for Christmas Eve. This year being the day after because it falls weird.
Just one thought that comes to mind is, I guess maybe in conversation, is just reduced schedules. Like even like for Christmas, I know some places of business maybe have a reduced schedule, like a half a day before the Christmas holiday, and then they give, in essence, 2 full days off. So I'm not sure if that's ever been discussed or explored with the village. Just to allow, like, for example, people the ability to go travel or catch a flight before the Christmas holiday or something of that nature.
I believe the reason that they went with the eve was for that exact reason. So nobody was trying to get too much done before like a major holiday for folks that celebrate Christmas. And I believe that was always the intent. And obviously this year, just because it falls on the Monday, they've got the whole weekend to do that traveling before, so and stuff then too.
Okay.
Okay. And then next, I wanted to certainly thank my assistant Becky Smith and the whole Fall Fest committee, which certainly are all of the taxing bodies that were a part of that. Jeanette Huber, Sarah Catalano Jeanette Huber with the Alsip Park District, Sarah Cottonado with the Public Library, Mary Grace Snooks with the Chamber of Commerce, Craig Gwaltney with Alsip Schools. I tell you, everybody, including all of their extended commissioners and staff, I tell you, the Alsip Police Department, Fire Department, Public Works, certainly everyone involved from the parks, schools, and library, and especially St. Xavier's baseball team, who came out before the event and after the event and set up all the tables and everything else, busted down chairs and all that kind of stuff. Those guys were amazing, and I'll certainly send St. Xavier's a major thank you for their help on that. But it was really a nice event. The whole committee did a wonderful job collaborating and working together for this year's also Fall Fest, and a very successful event. Oh, and they had a lot of food trucks this year, too. Last year, the food trucks struggled a little bit, and I guess they did something this year with having the vendors secure, like, deposits to make sure they're all coming out and everything, too, and they really did. They had quite a few selections of stuff. Mike, and thank you for what you were out there with your guys and stuff, yet, too, helping out. Yeah, I heard you guys had an electrical issue, you guys had to iron out and stuff like that, too.
Yeah, a couple things popped up, so.
Good. Okay, well, thanks, Mike, for doing that and stuff, yet, too. And then last, I wanted to announce that I did attend, I don't think I said this at a meeting yet, but I did attend last week's Plan Commission hearing, and our chairperson, Stan Graychuk, retired. So I spoke with the vice...
Was that his last meeting?
Yes, that was his last meeting.
Oh, okay.
So
Hadn't heard he was retiring.
He was just in my office about 15 minutes ago, and he just gave me his, letter of retirement and so forth yet, too. I spoke Friday with the vice chair, Chuck Rolfson, and Chuck agreed to assume the responsibilities of chairperson.
Oh, wow.
And I'll put that on the agenda next week to acknowledge that. So I'm going to be looking for another person to sit on that commission, certainly to keep that to keep the commission full. They've really been tasked with a lot of responsibility in the 6 years I've been here. And we certainly appreciate the efforts that they've made to help keep Alsip a business-friendly community, and again, expedite all the requests for development as smoothly and as quickly as we can. Also, Stanley, he brought in something tonight we've been talking about, is improving our application for, it's a little bit outdated, and we're going to put a little more information on there when folks are looking for special uses and stuff, be more specific on special use, and also allow for a spot where we gave direction, like, here, we'd like you to do this, or bring these people with you to the meeting and all that kind of thing, too. So, again, communication's everything these days, and just to get into let's just say a spat at a meeting to say, well, I told you to bring so-and-so with you, and then you didn't do it, and that kind of thing, too. We certainly want to own, or at least establish, what we're looking for before that happens and stuff yet, too. So we're going to work on that application process, and we'll share that with the Planning and Zoning Committee and the board once that's completed. But he's meeting with Chuck Rolfson today or tomorrow, and they're going to talk about that, too. And Roger Early's already had some input as well, too. So all three offices are going to work on that and stuff. So.
Well, I know after that training session, there was a lot of good information in that book that we got.
Oh, it was great. And Becky put together a real nice binder for everybody, too, on what's to be anticipated. And this morning, as soon as I walked in, I did an email with Chuck and Chuck Rolfson, and not only did I share, there's a couple of improvements I'd like to see, and I told Stan tonight, as far as agendas were concerned, minutes are concerned, things like that. I've addressed the secretary over there today on that as well. And then the other thing I wanted to see, too, was I gave him more of a template for protocol, procedures and stuff like that we want to see followed. So hopefully that'll assist their group. And you're right, Trustee McLaurin. I told him as well, I'd like to see that training happen maybe annually, or at least even when we get a new commissioner, that everyone is on the same board. And I'll tell you, like I said, I go annually to these Illinois Municipal League conferences, and it's good stuff. It's not necessarily repetitious all the time, and there's always something new that might come up. And it's good to be in a group setting when you're learning those kind of things yet, too.
Yeah, and especially if we do any kind of ordinance changes, who knows, how long it takes
Oh,
to.
amongst the thousands of ordinances that we have and stuff yet, too, so, no, exactly. So, first on your agenda this evening, I had one of our local restaurants ask if they could have a happy hour. And we checked the ordinances, and it turns out our ordinance, what I consider maybe be outdated. So what I have on your agenda this evening was a request to have the village attorney amend Article 2, Administration and Enforcement Division 1, that's Section 4 through 41, happy hour, reduced drinks, that was originally approved on November 7th, 1994. And we'd like to see him update that ordinance to include the new Illinois Liquor Commission's Public Act number 99-46, which went into effect on July 15th, 2015. No one is, we don't have an overabundance of restaurants in town, but nobody, under my administration anyway, in the last 6 years, has asked for recognition for happy hour. And I said, no, if it means supporting your business, or not just that business, but any business in town, to promote more retail sales, and certainly this is for dining in their establishments. Certainly, I'd like to see that supported by the board. I put some info in the packet. Did any trustees, I know we're a little short on a couple of trustees this evening, but did anybody have any questions on this? No?
Now, the information in the packet was very helpful with the Q&A and the back and forth. I think probably just about everybody's partaken of a happy hour
Exactly.
somewhere at some point in time.
Yeah, again, I know it goes without saying, but Mr. Smoot? Hey, Dan.
Mayor Ryan, trustees, and clerk. I just had one question. Is there a conference, in the state of Illinois, is there a conference of mayors for villages, cities, and counties throughout Illinois?
Oh, sure.
There is?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you can just say when you can get together with state representatives and the governor.
That is, no, what they do, Mr. Smoot, I belong to 3 of those organizations. So we actually have the Southborough Mayors and Managers, and these are all I'm actually the furthest northern suburb in that organization, and that's all the south suburb mayors that get together, and they belong to what they call a COG. It's a Council of Government. And then midfield here, more or less, like I have a meeting Wednesday night in Palos Hills with all the Southwest Conference of Mayors. So everybody from, let's say, Burbank to Alsip and going westbound, I'll get together with all those mayors. That's a different group. And then there's the Metropolitan Mayors Caucus that encompasses everybody across basically the metropolitan Chicagoland area. Like, there's probably 75 mayors that belong to that and stuff yet, too. And that's a great group to be a part of, too. But when it comes to the legislators, like when you talk about state reps, senators, and even the governor, those really don't exist. That really is just in Springfield, and for us to discuss it, we can reach out to them anytime we want, but you really will never get them together on a collective basis and stuff yet, too.
No, but you got lobby day.
It's lobby day. It's once a year, and that's a blitz, that kind of thing, too, to get together with all them.
And the main reason I asked that question was because last Monday, that was the first day of the Safety Act. And I was just wondering, didn't they want to get any input from the mayors before that was passed? Because there's pros and cons to the Safety Act.
That was
Good and bad.
No, it's a good question, and that was really the topic that should have been discussed when they drafted it like 2 years ago when all that first went down. And we tried to assist even like with our police chief, like working with our legislators to help with that, but they had a group of their own, and they put that together. So we physically didn't have a lot of input in that. But that was really our legislators that built that. And I'm not sure who else, when they did do an amendment to it, and Trustee Delzell, were you familiar, did you know of any departments that were part of the amendment?
Actually, just before they came to the conclusion, they finally staffed the advisory board with a law enforcement officer out of Cook County.
Okay, yeah, so, again, even the Illinois Chiefs Association, I don't think they were totally involved in that or anything like that, were they? Or-
They tried.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So they kind of steamrolled it on the issue.
Yeah, and I'll let you say that, it's like, it's not, for, hey, I'm a positive guy, Dan, but, and obviously, I'm an optimist, and certainly I represent this community as this board does, and we're just hoping for great things. So far, I haven't heard of anything out of line or anything that's been challenged in our community with that just yet, but that really just falls on the court system, and we're hoping the courts make great decisions to keep you and us safe. For folks that should be detained, that kind of thing, too.
We're just going to have to pray on that, Mayor.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll go on to our standing committee reports. We'll start with Finance and IT. Trustee McGlawhorn.
Thank you, Mayor. I will have the usual list of payroll and accounts payable for approval next week, and that's all I have under finance.
Okay, thank you. Fire Committee, Trustee Dalzell, or are you on it?
We've got the request for the approval of a grievance settlement between the Village of Alsip and the Alsip Professional Firefighters Local 3074. I suppose we're tabling off the discussion about the ladder truck?
Yes, sir. The chief wanted, because it was kind of an involved conversation, he wanted to wait until we had at least a couple more trustees in the room.
Okay. I assume for number 3 then as well?
Same thing, yes.
Okay. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. Police and Traffic Safety, Trustee Dalzell.
Nothing for this evening's meeting, Mayor. Thank you.
Then we'll go to Public Work and Boat Launch Committee.
Trustee McGlawhorn.
Is that me?
Yes.
Okay. Presentation of the September 18th, 2023 it says public information. No, not public information. Well, I guess it was. The sidewalk meeting.
Okay.
Minutes. And that's all I have.
Mike, how are we doing with the sidewalk replacement program?
Oh, the replacement program is going very well. They removed most of the sidewalks that we had marked. They've poured probably half of them. So I know the weather's going to push them off probably a couple of days here. But they should be complete with everything by the end of next week.
Okay. Did you get the one, I apologize, I had a full plate today, but did you get the one call about somebody over in Arbor Glen that had a question?
Yes,
Okay, good.
I believe so. I did speak to several people from Arbor Glen, so.
Okay. Was that, they were just saying that we're replacing a couple squares, but that others might have got cracked or damaged. Was that because of equipment being used, or it was stress crack, or what was it?
There was a few that had a couple of like stress cracks, so they weren't necessarily tripping hazards.
Okay.
So again, when I have so many squares that I need to replace,
Yeah.
We got to draw the line somewhere, so I need to replace the ones that are tripping hazard before anything more cosmetic.
Absolutely. And really, I hope the policy that, again, I love the Illinois Municipal League, but I brought back that policy a couple of years ago with how we deal with cracks or trip hazards and now, so hopefully we're implementing that as well then too, yeah. Okay, thanks, Mike.
And then, if I could, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, all right, go ahead.
So as you know, we've started construction on Lombard Lane for the resurfacing and curb and gutter removals. So we're in the process of that. The other part of that project is we've got some drainage issues in the area that we're looking to address, to improve upon. We've discovered that we've got sections of pipe that are approximately 24 inches up to 36 that are full of debris, require further inspections by televised cameras. I solicited 3 quotes from 3 different companies to do this type of work for us because we'd like to get this done before we actually begin the milling and grading of the streets. So I was hoping that I could get a consensus from the board for a change work order to perform some televising and cleaning of the storm sewer lines within that area in the amount of $14,735. This is something beyond what my department can do just because they're larger size pipes. Again, We feel that will improve the drainage once we can get these pipes cleaned, and we want to further investigate to make sure we don't have any kind of other issues within the area.
And trustees, this is what I've been referring to all along with this, where Mike and I talked way back when, and I always felt maybe we were under-engineered, but Mike's finding like obstructions in those lines instead, so that could be part of the problem.
It's
with
definitely
it.
contributing
Yeah.
to it, so we'd like to get those lines cleared out, and again, further investigated, make sure that we don't have any other issues, and address them now, so.
Okay. And Mike, right now, we're using MFT money for this project, correct?
So for this part,
It's resurfacing part, right?
for this part of Lombard, though, we actually were awarded some money from Cook County in the amount of $750,000 that's being used for the portion of Lombard and Kedvale and 126.
Right.
So we could actually use some of the funding from Cook County for this project on Lombard to do the drainage improvements.
Understood.
And what are the issues with drainage? Is it just, it's slow to drain, or is it like you have
It's slow to
pools of
drain.
water, like little lakes in the?
Yeah, no, it's slow to drain.
Okay.
And part of that is because of the pipes being half full of dirt,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, and like, as Mike said, I don't want to put down a new blacktop scenario, and all of a sudden we have further issues and stuff, so
Right.
let's find out what the problem. For televising the sewer system at Lombard Avenue.
Cleaning and televising.
Cleaning and televising.
All right, roll call number 1 for the consensus, trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy is absent. Trustee Navas Barza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta is absent. Mayor Ryan,
Yes,
you have your consensus.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
And then, Mike, just throw that into the packet for next week so we can do the formal approval.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, then we'll go to the sewer and water report. Trustee Navas Barza.
Thank you. I have no report.
Okay. Thank you. Building and Health Committee, oh, Trustee McLaurin?
No report.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, Trustee, it's right, you're the next one here. Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee McLaurin.
Yes, Maria is very happy to announce that the Village of Alsip has hired Stanley Johnson as the new staff accountant in the finance department.
No, he's doing a great job so far.
I say I know from talking to her, and I say she's very happy with him, and has been doing.
What was the start date?
He's the staff accountant, well, I'm sorry, Trustee.
What
what
date
was-
did he actually start? That I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he's been here for, I think he just was on this was his first payroll.
Okay.
So he's been here for about 2 weeks. Maybe 3. Next, we had the special committee reports. We'll start with economic development. Trustee Navas Esparza.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Trustee, I did take a ride past on, not much to update just yet, but that new building that's going up for Bell Tire looks great. They put a storefront on it the other day, and they were starting to hang drywall in there today and stuff here too, but it looks great. It's coming along really well. And then,
Do we have any updates on Firewater?
yeah, he put his smokers in there about a week ago.
Okay.
You know, and there was.
Because I noticed furniture as
Yeah.
I'm driving past.
Oh, yeah, no, he's got the furniture next door there, and then he ran into a snag, and I actually, I got involved with this too, because he's sitting on like 4 pins that were consolidated over there, and somehow one of those pins shows, and I don't know how this even happened, but one of the pins that used to be Ed's Lawnmower's parking lot that like butted up to Studio K was still being recognized by the county as a residential parking lot, and, not commercially zoned. And I got involved, and the people, Cook County Recorder of Deeds office was great to speak with, and there was a young man named Malik I've been working with, and I talked to Matt Weil from Firewater, and I said, Matt, you need to physically go down there and iron this out. They'll help you take care of it, but over the phone, this isn't working and stuff. But once he gets that done, he can, in other words, there's bank payouts and stuff like that that are trying to be taken care of. But in the meantime, he's got about 4 guys there every day, and it's still working. And right now, when I was over there last Wednesday, maybe, they were working on he's got just a small walk-up bar kind of a thing and stuff in there, too. And it looks like old barrels and stuff like that. It's kind of cool looking. So, yeah, hopefully he gets all that ironed out. He was looking to try and open this in the next couple of weeks, but he, like I say, he's going to iron this out with the zoning thing real quick, that's all. It's just a kind of a snafu with the, I think it's a clerical thing, I think, and because I found a typo in there, too, on some numbers and stuff, so they're trying to figure all that out. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's right. I had this under later in my report here. So next we had village properties. Trustee McLaurin.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Ordinance and legislation committee.
Oh, go ahead. Request for approval to amend ordinance number 2023-08-2 to include the expiration of September 30th for the annual electrical maintenance permit.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to planning and zoning and licenses committee.
I have a presentation of a list of licenses dated September 11th, 2023 through September 22nd of 2023. And then I also have a request for approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving a plat of subdivision and granting a variation from Article 7, Residence District R1, Section 104, Intensity of Use of the zoning ordinance to allow the use and development of 2 single-family homes on lots with dimensions of 45 feet by 125.74 feet on the property located at 11741 through 11743 South La Crosse Avenue in Alsip. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Did anybody have any presentations, petitions, or communications they wanted to share? I have one. If you'd like to join us, certainly everyone's welcome to join us this coming Sunday, October 1st, from noon till 2 p.m. We're going to have a ribbon cutting at a new restaurant, fast food restaurant. Actually, at the address is 12037 South Pulaski. This is next door, right where the Jewel is at over there, but next door to the Dairy Queen. This is called Jerk 48. This is going to be a Jamaican jerk chicken restaurant that's opening there. The gentleman that owns it, Early Walker, he's a great guy. I've known his name for some years. He's an entrepreneur. He's got a lot of different interests in the south suburbs, but he's planning a real nice open, obviously a ribbon cutting and taste samplings and so forth. But if anybody's available, please join us at noon on Sunday at 12037 South Pulaski. Trustees, anybody have any unfinished business? Any new business? Then I need to ask that we adjourn to closed session for just a short closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2, Chapter 1. Can I get a motion, a second to do that?
Motion to adjourn to executive session?
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call number 2 to adjourn to closed session. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy is absent. Trustee Navas-Barza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta is absent. Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn to closed session.
Thank you very much. And please enjoy the rest of your night. The time now is 8:08 p.m., and I need to clear the boardroom so we can have a private session. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night.